Hey guys, how you doing? This is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors. Today we're going to be showing you a bag that my buddy Chris from Prepare Mind 101 gave to me. He gave it to me and said, you know, I really just don't have a use for it. See what you can do with it. The more I looked at it, the more it just screamed something to me. So I threw it together and I want to show you guys on camera. Don't go away. Alright guys, well here you go. Looks like my Condor bottle sack, just monster sized. This is the Mantis Extreme. I believe that's what the company name is. I've never heard of them. Maybe you can contact Chris himself. But he gave me this bag and he said, you know, I just really don't have a use for it, and see what you could do for it. And the more that I looked at it, the more it just screamed something to me, and I just went ahead and threw it together, and I wanted to show it to you guys on video. So you could probably fit two 32-ounce bottles in here. And this thing's huge, and it just, you know, it just really doesn't seem like something that would be conducive for carrying water bottles. Maybe a water bladder, but it doesn't have anything like a slit or anything in it for the hose to come out. So I mean, I was really puzzled on what it was, and so I figured I was going to make a hunting bag out of it, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. But we're going to go through and show you the bag itself, and then we'll show you what else we're going to do with it. So I mean, it's a pretty stoutly made bag. Stitching is really nice on it. Not bad. It comes with a, like I said, this thing's really huge. I mean, it's probably more than double the size of my Condor water bottle bag. It's got nice hefty molly straps, mollied to death all over the place. Even on the inside of this pouch. I mean, it looks like they just mollied it all the way around and then sewed on top of it, which is whatever. It's neither here nor there. It's got two elastic bands right here. I mean, there's a lot of options here with this bag, you know. So we're gonna sit down and open it up and show you some more stuff in it, and then show you what I'm gonna put in it. All right, so opening the bag up itself, find that there's this black insulating pouch in there that I guess keeps your water bottle cool or hot, whatever you're doing. Shit can that right away. Alright, so what we're left with is, looks like a silicone impregnated backing here. I mean, I'm just guessing. It could be anything. I'm sure somebody's going to comment like, no, you're wrong, that's something else. But it's just what I think it is, just by me examining it. But anyways, looks like the perfect size for all of my hunting gear to go in, including my bow to be strapped on the side of it. And we're going to show you all that stuff right now. Alright guys, so what you're looking at here is pretty much the contents of what I pack when I go deer hunting with a bow. And I have broadheads for these as well, but they're in my safe. I got 7 kids, so I don't leave the broadheads just laying around. Before I go hunting, I get them out of the safe, put them in my pack, and I'm off. Anyway, so like I said, this is just the perfect size for me to throw these 3-piece arrows, and I have a fishing arrow in there as well, but I just keep that in there so it's safe. Throw my arrows in there, and when I go hunting, I know my hunting area so well that I know the prime areas for squirrel. And when I'm walking into my woods, I have 2 special hickory trees that are just great for catching squirrels. So I'll take 2 rat traps with me. On my way in, I'll strap those to the trees with number 36 bank line. So I throw these in here. Like that. Throw the cordage in right beside it. Now when I'm actually at the place where I'm going hunting, there's squirrels that are usually all over the place as well. Any deer hunter knows that whenever you go hunting for squirrels, you'll never see one. But the moment you go deer hunting, that's when they're all over the place. So I actually bring a slingshot, and with this one, I can also shoot my arrows with it, but I usually will take I'll take this off when I'm actually going hunting. But that's the this is the sling bow from the Pathfinder school. I'll take this off when I'm deer hunting, and I'll use this to, you know, get any squirrel that actually make the mistake of crossing my path. And it's really good slingshot. that just goes in right beside those arrows. And everything fits really snug and really packed in there, so nothing's jumbling around and rattling. I really like that. I don't like things rattling around when I'm trying to hunt or trying to even walk into the woods. And, you know, one of the things maybe somebody's going to say is, you know, when you're deer hunting, you're out there shooting a slingshot, you're going to scare away every deer within 100 miles. Well, no, that's actually not true. I do that quite a bit. I shoot slingshot and any kind of squirrels that are around my area, and I still get deer on a regular basis. So with that slingshot, I got the ammo that I usually will just throw right here, and I will just kind of tuck it in there, and those elastic straps will hold it pretty well. Just toss it right in there. Now it's gonna make a liar out of me probably. Well, we'll just throw it in there for the sake of time of this video because my battery's getting pretty low. Okay, so those 2 rat traps will be out of this bag and strapped to a tree. It takes me about 15 minutes to do both of those. And hey puppy, got my puppy here. And then I'm off to the next area, and the next area is another really good spot for squirrels as well. And what I'll do there is I'll make 2 squirrel poles, and they're about 50 to 75 feet apart. And if you don't know what a squirrel pole is, just bear with me. I'm going to do a video about that here in the near future. And I've got 15 picture frame wire, or picture hanging wire snares, and I'll show how to make these as well. And squirrel is probably the only thing that I would use these snares for, and a squirrel pole is probably the only thing I'd use these snares on as well, because when you use a squirrel pole, there's also fire making stuff in here. I think I've showed this kit on video before as well. Some Surefire, some chaga, some fat wood, some steel wool. But when you use a squirrel pole with these, what they'll do is they'll go run up the pole and they'll get hung in the snare, and then they freak out and then they'll fall off the pole itself, and then they're just there hanging. They don't have a chance to spin up into the brush and all that kinds of other stuff and snap these snares. But at any rate, I'll throw that right in the top of this pack right here. And this is the bowstring for my bow that you see here, and we're going to get into that in a second. I forgot about that. Toss that right in there. And I always like to keep an extra slingshot band. Like I said, I know my area that I hunt in fairly well, and even though I carry this and a haversack, and that's pretty much all I carry when I go deer hunting, and even though my haversack, I carry 32 ounces of water in that haversack, I know at least 3 places where fresh water, let me say that again, fresh water does not need any kind of treatment whatsoever, not boiled, no nothing, comes straight out of the rocks, and then there's a spring on the far end of that land as well. And one of them, well actually 2 of them, is pretty difficult to get into unless you have a straw. And not only is this a slingshot band to me, but if I need it, this is a straw. Now there's, like I said, the spring that's on that, I can just dip my bottle in, and it doesn't need cleaned in any way, shape, or form. Not boiled, not chemical disinfection, nothing. So alright, that is that. And what I do with my bow is I strap it to the side with some 550 cord. You know, like I said, I really didn't know what to do with that bag at first when Chris gave it to me. Now, the more I looked at it, I just was thinking, that perfect critter getter bag. I could throw all my hunting stuff in there that I usually take with me out into the field when I go bow hunting for deers and other things. And I mean, that's a phrase coined by a friend of mine, Steve Davis. If you guys don't know who he is, he has a YouTube channel as well. It's called Stillwater Bushcraft. I think his name is Woodtrekker76, I believe it is. But go check out that YouTube channel if you're at all in any way interested in bushcraft, and especially 18th century technology. He does some 18th century reenactments and things like that that are really cool in my opinion. He's a very extremely knowledgeable person. So, like I said, go check out that channel as well. In my opinion, you won't be sorry. All right, guys. So I really wanted to show you that because this is just one pack that was sling quickly on my back. I can sling my haversack on one side, and I'm off. I'm ready to roll. Sometimes I go hunting, and it's fun to go hunting with people. Don't get me wrong, especially youth. I take not only my kids, but I take other kids out in the woods as well. But sometimes I go hunting with some people that it takes them an hour to get ready, an hour and a half to get ready. I went hunting with my wife at my buddy Jamie Burley's place, and it was maddening. Her just getting out of the truck and getting ready. It was just like, come on, woman. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, just being able to roll at a moment's notice is what I like to do. I just want to grab a couple bags, throw on my clothes, and roll. And another thing about this is, especially with the bow itself, I really, really love this bow. And I'm going to do an exclusive review on this bow. And it is an amazing piece of equipment. I really like shooting this style of bow. Some people are like, oh, why don't you use a compound? Why don't you use this? Why don't you use that? I like shooting a longbow. I also like recurves as well, but I like this style of bow. But anyways, this bow is my favorite bow. Like I said, really great tool. It's made out of aircraft aluminum, I believe fiberglass and aircraft aluminum. Great piece of gear. I've actually gotten a couple deer with this, so obviously we know it's going to kill a deer. It's got a 60-pound draw on it. That's not going to be a problem. But look, check out my channel here in the near future. There's going to be a review on this bow by itself here pretty soon. But that's just being able to strap right to the pack, and I'm out the door, and I'm not going to be, I don't have a huge bow sticking out of my back to where I'm trying to dip through tree limbs, and some of the trails that I go on to get to, well, the number 3 hunting spot that I go to is in some pretty thick briars. So having a compact kit that's just the size of my body going right through the brush is definitely worth it in my opinion. Not having to dig briars off my bow and I'm getting stuck and hung up and I look like I'm in a freaking spider web. That's just a pain in the butt, and I can't stand that when I'm going hunting. It makes the day a little bit less enjoyable for me is what I'm saying. So we're going to put this bow on the bag itself. We're going to lash it up. I'm just going to tell you the knots I'm going to be using. I'm going to use a Canadian jam knot to start out with, and then I'm going to use a butcher's knot all the way down, and then 2 clove hitches on the rear end of it to keep it stable, and we'll show you that here in about 2 seconds. Alright guys, well this is everything all lashed together and packed up, ready for me from next time I go hunting in the woods when I'm bow hunting for some deer. So let's strap this on and see how it looks strapped to my body. Alright, so there you go guys. No fuss, no muss. The good thing about it is the bow. Anybody that carries a compound bow or a long bow, recurve, what have you in the woods can tell you how much of a pain sometimes it can be to trek those things in the woods. The great thing about that bow is that it's not sticking up. It's very packable, extremely packable. I'm not going to be snagging any tree limbs or anything like that. I'm not going to be snagging any tree limbs or anything like that when I'm walking through the woods. So that's just one extra plus in my opinion for this pack. Seems like these are all the things that I carry on a regular basis, and them just in one little pack that I can just throw on, slap my haversack on, go out. That's great in my opinion. Well, we're gonna have the opportunity to go hunting here pretty soon. My buddy actually owns some land down in southeast Ohio, and he's got a pretty big problem, and he's got some nuisance permits. Deer's actually out of season right now as we speak, but he's got some nuisance permits, and they're doing a lot of damage, so we're going to go down there and see if we can take 2 or 3 and see if we can't get it on camera. I'll definitely be using this pack, and we'll get back with you on it. Well, this has been William Myers with Mantis Outdoors. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I appreciate if you click subscribe. It's usually a red button like right there. Liking my video helps me out a ton. I appreciate all your views, comments, and support. Hopefully we'll see you out in the woods. Okay, you could probably fit 2 32. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't speak right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Sorry, I don't have ADD. The dog's over there. I'm just doing a video. I'm like, oh, look at the kitty. I don't know.